In this video we're going to be taking a look at how to counter charging cavalry with different spear formations. Here we have the Armenian spears, they cost 500 up against the Tagmeta cavalry. Square formation is going to increase bracing bonuses and bonuses against large. Loose formation, good against missiles, shouldn't be too good against cavalry because units lose their bracing bonuses. A spaghetti line should not be good because units don't get bracing bonuses. Over here we are starting to brace a bit more with 3 ranks, 4 ranks, and finally 5 ranks deep, and it's going to be 6 ranks in the center here. So the charges happen, spaghetti lines and 2 ranks deep get wrecked. Spaghetti lines get wrecked on a single charge. But the interesting thing is happening over here. 2 ranks deep are able to hold up to 1 charge at least. Spaghetti lines are not. What happens here is very few of the Tagmeta cavalry actually make contact with the square. So when the Tagmeta cavalry tries to disengage, they're actually going to get caught by the square coming out. 2 ranks deep, the infantry gets destroyed in 2 charges. 1 charge with the loose formation. But over here, the Tagmeta cavalry really struggles with pulling out of the engagement. So the square formation against cavalry 2 ranks deep is actually very effective, even though these spears are fairly cheap spears. So let's see how well 3 ranks deep, 4 ranks deep and 5 ranks deep are able to hold up. The Tagmeta cavalry, the expert charge defense, is each time they cycle charge, they're going to take more damage, because expert charge defense means that this unit is going to reflect damage back to the Tagmeta cavalry when they get charged. So 3 ranks, 4 ranks and 5 ranks should be more effective against charging cavalry than 2 ranks and loose formation because of the increased bracing bonuses. It should also be more difficult to pull out from the same formation. So let's see here, Tagmeta cavalry charges in against 3 ranks deep. They lose a lot of men on the charge, but again, Tagmeta takes casualties. Over here, 5 ranks. 5 ranks hold reasonably well, and when the Tagmeta try to pull out, they're going to wrap around the unit and then lose a lot of men on the disengage. So it's really no contest here. The 3 ranks deep get destroyed. 4 ranks deep hold reasonably well. 5 ranks deep still takes a lot of casualties, but 5 ranks deep also shreds the Tagmeta on the disengage. 4 ranks deep, reasonably effective. 5 ranks deep, also reasonably effective. 46 men remaining. Let's see here. Looks like we might get a very similar result between 4 and 5 ranks deep. So what we're going to try now is... Let's see here. What we're going to try now is the same formations. 2 ranks deep, loose formation, square, 4 ranks deep, and here we have 6 ranks deep. But this is going to be against wedge. Now wedge is useful against cavalry, particularly shock cavalry. It's going to reduce the movement speed, but it's going to increase the charge bonus of a unit. So let's see, charging in, doing a fair bit of damage and being able to disengage a bit easier due to not wrapping around the unit and having units pass through. So still losing a fair bit of men on the charge because these spears are braced. And again, yeah, the Armenian spears are getting wrecked ever so slightly. Against the square as well, it's actually easier to pull out against the square when using the diamond formation. Against the spaghetti lines, if you charge in, what's going to happen is that the spears, even though they're not braced, they're going to pour in and do a lot of damage to the Tagmeta cavalry. 2 ranks deep as well, the same thing is going to happen. The spears are going to start engaging the Tagmeta cavalry and do a lot of damage to it.
Flee the field of battle.
However, in the square formation, Tagmeta are actually going to do better against the square formation than they are going to do against Armenian spears, both 2 ranks deep and in loose formation.
The men have thrown down their weapons.
The square just broke, but this is cost effective for the spears, being able to take out this many Tagmeta cavalry.
The men's resolve is failing.
And over here, the loose formation is actually doing the best of
the whole unit has been
the
destroyed.
formations against the diamond formation, because the diamond formation concentrates the point of impact to a very small point in the unit in the front here. So mainly these guys in the center are going to get hit, and then units are going to be pouring in from the sides when the Tagmeta try to disengage. So just to sum up here, 2 ranks deep and loose formation 3 ranks deep is suicide against charging enemy cavalry. Against enemy cavalry that is spread wide like this, then a square is going to be able to hold very well, because the point of impact is going to be very narrow. The cavalry is going to pass around the unit, and when they then try to disengage in whichever direction they disengage, they're going to get stopped by the square and they're going to take a lot of damage. Now the opposite is going to happen against a square that is charged by diamond formation, because units are not going to be passing around here. They're going to be stopping in the front, and then they can disengage easier and keep cycle charging. So if you're using cavalry and an opponent goes into square formation, using diamond can be very useful. If you're up against a wide spear formation, diamond is not going to be as effective. Then it's much better to just use a wide formation, match the formation width to the spear unit, so that you don't pour around the sides. And this can be done against spear formations that are thick as well, of course. You could charge in Tagmeta cavalry, say 4 ranks deep or 3 ranks deep, in order to not spill around the edges, so it's easier to cycle charge. So changing the formation depending on the formation you're facing can potentially be massive. Square is also potentially useful for holding against cavalry charges, but it's not going to be very useful against cavalry that charges in either a wedge formation or a diamond formation. Strength and honor.